Breaking news. So Frank Martin revealed that Gervonta Davis is working on a rehydration clause for their fight. He doesn't know yet, which sounded kinda strange since the contracts are already signed. Well, apparently, according to Aerospence, which is Frank Martin promoter, he stated that the 10-pound rehydration clause is actually the WBA new ruling. They have a new ruling, just like the IBF, that fighters have to fight under a 10-pound rehydration clause, meaning there will be a second weigh-in 12 hours before the fight, where fighters only allowed to rehydrate 10 pounds over the weight limit. If not, the fight will be canceled. It's important to mention after the second weigh-in though, fighters have up to 12 hours after the second weigh-in to rehydrate more, on top of the 10 pounds they already gained. So ultimately, fighters can gain 15 to 20 pounds after the weigh-in. I'm talking about the total pounds to fight night. The WBA also added a new rule allowing boxers to rehydrate for over 30 hours before a fight. So the official weigh-in is going to be 30 hours before the actual fight. So they have 30 hours to gain weight. That being said, the million-dollar question is, when these new rules were added, was it added like yesterday or was it added months before that? Because it's kind of strange that Gervonta and Frank Martin, after signing the contract, they still working on this rehydration clause, the 10-pound rehydration clause by the WBA. If this rule was already in place before Frank and Tank signed the contract, then why are they even talking about it? It shouldn't be up for debate or up for discussion. However, if this rule was added recently, then that will make more sense. Now, Tank came out clarifying that he did not request the 10-pound rehydration clause against Frank, which makes sense because on the press conference day, Tank told a reporter there will not be a rehydration clause, a 10-pound rehydration clause against Frank, since Frank Martin is a lightweight. So again, it is kind of strange that both Gervonta and Frank Martin were not aware of this 10-pound rehydration clause after they signed the contract, which makes you wonder, did the WBA just add this new rule of the 10-pound rehydration clause recently after Tank and Frank Martin signed the contract? If so, Tank and Frank don't even really have to go by this rule right now, since it was added after they agreed to fight. Nevertheless, here is what Gervonta had to say. Quote, "I'm not sure what the F y'all talking about, but if it is true, y'all telling me I have enough power to tell the WBA what to do? Question mark. I don't even know what the F is going on." End of the quote. So yeah, it is kind of strange that Gervonta and Frank both don't know what's going on. Now, as far as Tank stating, if it is true as far as the WBA new rule, y'all telling me I have enough power to tell the WBA what to do? Well, Canelo Alvarez does. He has the power to tell everyone what to do, from the WBA to the WBC. Remember, the WBA mandatory was David Morrell. They got rid of him and put Edgar Berlanga on the table, on the plate for Canelo. Likewise for David Benavidez. He has been the mandatory for Canelo Alvarez at 168 for over 3 years. And they still have yet to order Canelo to fight David Benavidez. To make matters worse, just like Jamal Charlo, who was the mandatory for Canelo at 160. At that time, Canelo didn't want to fight Jamal Charlo, who was healthy, not the mentally ill version of him today. Back then, Canelo mandatory with the WBC was due, so Canelo requested from the WBC to make him a new belt called the WBC franchise belt, the NBF belt, in order to avoid his mandatory Jamal Charlo while saving face, vacating the title. So yeah, according to boxing track record, this is a fact that's not up for debate. There are certain fighters who have the power to change the rules, like Canelo did. Remember, ever since Canelo made up the NBF belt, the WBC franchise belt, 5 years ago. They already got rid of that belt. They already got rid of that rule that Canelo created. If Tank is claiming he is the face of boxing over Canelo, he should have some power similar to that. Not saying he made up this new rule. I don't believe he did. However, if Gervonta really wants to, he's pulling so much money with his Tank that he can have some influence to make something shake like Canelo did with the WBC. In fact, I remember when Tank was at 130 pounds when he fought for his second title there after he got stripped by the IBF. When Tank fought for the WBA title, he was supposed to fight for the WBA regular title. However, he ended up fighting for the WBA super title, even though there was already a WBA super champion at 130 pounds. It was really strange. Tank didn't fight the WBA super champion to get the WBA super belt. He fought someone else for the vacant WBA belt. However, he ended up getting the WBA super belt instead of the WBA regular belt, which made him at the time the official champion at 130 pounds according to the WBA. And he won the second title officially of his career by doing so. And the WBA super champion ended up getting the WBA regular belt. Therefore, without a doubt, Tank has been getting favors from the WBA, just like they said they was going to order him to fight Devin Haney when Devin was undisputed, because Tank was the mandatory ever since Lomachenko was a champion. However, they never did, nor they stripped Tank of his position, because money talk, bullshit walk. With the facts being laid out, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below, and to be continued on the next episode of Akhi TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Make sure y'all tune in June 15th. Y'all won't be disappointed with this fight. I ain't going to. I done had people in my DMs, all that. There's a lot of stuff I don't see. I'm not going to lay down. It ain't no. This ain't no cherry pick. I'm a real live dog in there. So, man, y'all just tune in June 15th and watch me shock the world.
Hey, it's no rehydration clause, right?
We working on that right now. We trying to figure it out.
They spoke on that. Just play it back.
Yeah, we're gonna pay that fine, man.
Nah, man, they can't do the rehydration, man. Nah, man. Don't take that shit, Frank. Don't take that shit, Frank.
Hey, we're gonna pay that fine, Frank. Go in there and knock his ass out.
Nah, facts, Frank. Whatever you say, Frank, pay that, because that dub gonna be worth it.
It's straight up.
Ryan showed you shit.
We not finna compare Frank to Ryan. That's not what we gonna do today. Nope.
Nah, but the money, you know how it go. You know how it go. Ryan, yeah, Frank ain't shit like Ryan. We definitely not doing that.
No.